investors for $33,000. Now, it's an old house that's actually been sitting vacant for 8 years. The bank had it on their books, and nobody wanted to touch it. Why? It had foundational issues, had mold issues, had everything you think is wrong with it. The cool thing about this house being in Liberty, it's a very small community that's extremely desirable. So what you don't see behind it is nice big homes surrounding this little tiny home. And what you also don't see behind it, 3 blocks back is a private college. So in our mind, who's going to buy this property? Probably mommy and daddy that wants to house their kids while they go to school. Perfect, let's pick it up. So we picked it up from someone that got onto remote rehabs, sold it to them for $33,000. And you can see that it's just old, needs a new roof, it's got a terrible patio, it all needs to be torn down, bad landscaping, you know, rotting on the sides because this is wood, you got to take it off and put vinyl, and just needs a whole lot of work. Inside, yes, it's a little because of the light, but you see a flat screen TV. People were squatting in there for a few years, so they got to live there rent-free for a few years until we picked it up and said, sorry, you're going to have to move. And then we turned around and just basically put in brand new windows, painted carpet, all new fixtures throughout. We used to do that brushed nickel look, and now we're more into the darker brushed instead. It just kind of pops things, and this is an American-style home, so we want to bring it back to its original status. This property here, terrible. I remember walking in the bathroom, I couldn't walk in, it smelled so bad. I have no idea how long that water's been sitting there. I think little pollywogs were in there or something, but it's a mess. But vinyl flooring, so all this stuff just needs to be gutted out and gone. They had lights going around the toilet. I think they were having a little party on the potty at the time, but so we thought it was kind of cool. We just left them, you know, but we took them out. But as you can kind of see, we turned around and put all new interior doors on. Oversized tile, just like what everybody likes, tile the whole bathroom, did the whole thing all the way around, and we put up a beadboard in all the wet areas as well, like the kitchen and the bathroom, and just brought that American craftsman right back into life again. This is the loft upstairs. You can make it into a bedroom, you can make it a playroom, you can make it a den, you can make it an office, whatever you want to make it, okay? Is there, so we just turned around and painted it, molded it, and then put the carpet in as well. Just made it look super nice to where everybody's like, oh, I think I want this house, is what they were doing. So everything was basically really brand new. Now the kitchen was a mess because our contractor walked in and fell right through the floor. Okay? Yeah, this is all rotted out, and he stepped on it and his foot went right through. Thank God he had boots on because his boots got scratched up pretty good. Nonetheless, we had to gut this whole thing out.
Nice addition.
Appliances, yeah. So we turned around and put in granite, put in new countertops, the beadboard again, new windows, painted the kitchen. It's not purple, it looks purple here, but it's like a slate color that goes with this granite, and that way we can make it a little bit different from all the rest of the house and made it look really nice. Now this is downstairs. Most of the houses have basements back in the Midwest, and this basement here is where they had storage and they used it for their laundry facility, but it also housed a lot of mold. And mold's not an issue with me. I don't care. The more mold, the better. Bring it on. Okay? So we took it and just cleaned out this whole basement and then pressure washed it down. We locked it, meaning a sealant that goes all the way around the blocks. And then we had a sump pump everything out, all the water out, because there's probably about an inch and a half, maybe an inch and 3/4 of water, standing water down there. So we had to get rid of it all and dry it all up. As you can see, there's mold and stuff, but not a problem. We can get rid of that. It's not an issue. Turn around and make it look all pretty again. So we have this old-looking house that just needs a lot of TLC, and you can see that this house here, old roof, old vinyl, old patio cover made it look just like that. It made it super pretty and super cute. We had it sold before right in the middle of the construction period. And turned around and sold to an investor actually for $103,000. Now, can I get, and that rents for about $1,050 a month. Well, it doesn't. It does rent because we got it under management. So, pretty darn good deal for that investor that got it at $33,000. Yes? How do you know? Because I didn't tell you the numbers yet. Let me give you the numbers. Pick it up for $33,000. Closing cost $1,000. Repairs $3,500 on it. Holding cost $600. Commissions on the back end $6,100. The $33,000 included my fee, by the way. Closing costs on the back end $2,600, and so they were into it for $79,000. And so the difference between the 103 and the 79 is now theirs. So you minus that out, it's $23,950. That's a cash on cash return of 29%. Now, is that a good deal?
Right.
Yeah.
That's an average deal. Okay, that's a good deal. Now,
Timeline.
sorry. Oh, you want the dirt? Let me tell you the dirt on this. You guys want to know what really happened with this property? Because I just made it really simple. Let me tell you what happened with this property. We had a mother and a daughter that comes to my club meeting over in the city of Corona. They were just dying to get their first deal. And so they pulled money out of credit cards, lines of credit, and all this other thing. I had no idea that they did this. They just said they had cash. And so we went in and bought this property. I bought that property for $19,000. I sold it to them for $23,000, and I made $4,000 off of it. Then I had this doctor, which you know, Michael Newton, came and bought a property from us over in Indianapolis, flipped that out, and wanted another property to jump on right away. So I went back to the mother and daughter and said, hey, would you be willing to sell this property, make a couple grand off it, just do a quick flip and like a wholesale deal, and you don't have to rehab it or nothing. They said, yeah, we'll do that, because we're pulling our money out of credit cards. And I said, you did what? So let's go ahead and do this deal. So I turned around and got that property and bought it back from them at 27, sold it to him for 35, and made an extra 5, right? Or 33, I made an extra 6, I'm sorry. So they made a little extra money, I made a little extra money, turned around and rehabbed this thing. Then there's a property management company that came over, not ours. Some other property management company said, man, this house is excellent. I want this for our portfolio. We want to take this on. And I said, well, we've got an investor right here that's going to flip it out. We're going to be listing it for about $105,000 to be yours. Well, it went back and forth, and ended up happening this, is that this property management company came in and bought it for $85,000. Our investors sold it for $79,000. I charged $3,000. And then the property management came in and bought it for $85,000, so I made an extra $3,000. He made some money along the way. And then the property management company decided not to hold on to it and sold it to one of their investors for $103,000. Now, that whole timeline right there went from January, and we finished the middle of June. Flip, 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 flip. Welcome to my world. That's what we do. Okay? Here's a cute little house in Kansas City, Missouri. Just love this little house here. Here's some numbers here. Annual income and expenses, 60 grand basically, cap rate 11.4%. Pretty darn good. What you're seeing down here is what's important. To build this house, to replace this house, is 90 bucks a square foot over in the Kansas City, Missouri. But wait a minute. Fully rehabbed, we got it for $45 a square foot. We measured those two. Is that a good deal? That's a great deal. Okay? So you know you're getting a good deal if you can buy below replacement cost. If you can buy below builder's cost, then you got yourself a great deal. We're not like an investment company over here that's selling all retail properties at retail prices. You're getting wholesale deals, okay? Here's another one in Kansas City, Missouri, 11% cap rate. So build cost $108,000, but here it's only $62, $90 a square foot, but 62 bucks a square foot, completely rehabbed for us. So they've got a really good deal there. It gives lots of room for growth, okay? Here's the third one here, making some cash flow off that, $459 on a purchase price of $43,900. Oh, you know what's cool about this house? I actually forgot, this is a new slide in here. Does anybody like the idea of seller financing, selling on seller financing? Does anybody like the idea of buying on seller financing, like I just experienced when I told you this story about the Chinese lady? We now have properties to where this purchase price is $49,900, but it's only going to cost you $23,000 to buy, because we'll now fund them seller financing. Non-recourse, no credit check, no employment, no nothing verification. You know what qualifies you? $23,000 bucks. That's what qualifies you. Okay? So if you want to be able to step into a property that's going to produce a good cash flow without having to go get a loan, without having to use your credit, without having to come out of pocket like most investors at $44,000, just slash that price in half. We just require 50% down, and it's now yours, and we'll hold the note for 7 years. Good deal?
Yep.
Oh, you guys just don't know what you're doing. That's a great deal, okay? So here's the numbers right here, close to $22,000. Nonetheless, you got a 12.5% cap on that. That's really good, okay? Especially when you don't have to spend all of the money on the one house. Because if you have $44,000, I would say buy 2 houses instead. Okay? So we talked about Kansas City. Let's take a look at Phoenix, and this will be the last one here. Phoenix is really my backyard. I've been in Kansas City market since 2006. I've been in the Phoenix market since 1999. Anybody ever visit Phoenix before? Has anybody visited Phoenix 20 years ago? It's like the armpits of the desert, but it's completely been revitalized. It's very friendly towards tourism, towards businesses. It's a completely conservative state, very low cost of living. That's why all your Californians are cashing out on their 1,000 square foot home for $500,000 and turning around and going buying something over there that's brand new for $125,000. You know, they're friendly in regards to sports. I mean, they've got the Diamondbacks, the Coyotes in regards to the NHL, and then, you know, they've got their pink girl football team here, the Cardinals. You know, but nonetheless, they've got a whole lot of things going on. It's the 5th most populated city in the U.S. It is the fastest growing metropolitan in the U.S. Has been for the past couple of years. We've got lots of stats and statistics. If you're a guy that loves bathroom materials and want to learn all that stuff, I'd be more than happy to email them over to you. Just let me know. Okay? Now, if you're unfamiliar with Phoenix, we're over here. Okay? And we jump on the 10 freeway. Are we familiar with the 10 freeway? Yes? Good. Okay, so we jump on the 10 freeway and we go all the way through here and we go through that beautiful town of Blythe. Anybody vacation in Blythe? There's a reason why all you shake your head no. We just move very fast through Blythe. And we cross over the border. I mentioned earlier Buckeye, and that's going to be right over here about 40 minutes before you get to downtown. But then the yellow area is what we call Phoenix proper. That's the downtown area. And you have two counties that really encompass Phoenix. You have Maricopa, which is the largest, and then Pinal County. You had a lot of the new growth happening up in here. You had a lot of new growth happening up in here towards Surprise, and a lot of new growth happening down here in Pinal County. Okay? So back in the day, that's where they were building. So we're in those two counties looking at properties. We've got newer properties starting in the $70,000 range. And that way, you're not looking at older properties with maintenance every single month. You're looking at newer properties that are going to be good for the long haul. Always in good, moderate, strong, working class neighborhoods. And the desirable factor is key with us. Desirability in regards to the purchase price for you, desirability in regards to getting it rented, desirability in regards to getting it flipped, desirability in doing the lease option or the seller financing, being in a newer subdivision, having a newer house brings in a better tenant, and then you have future appreciation where those houses where they fell the hardest will bounce back the highest. Okay? So the D factor plays a big deal with us. Now, cosmetic fixes, just like that one house from John and Len McCloskey. They had a house that just need to go in and paint, carpet, all the shiny stuff. We don't have to redo all the plumbing, all that good stuff, because they're newer houses. Average day on market right now, I don't know, about 36 hours. You know, you put something on MLS, it's gone like that. Okay, just like you're in Southern California, you put something on MLS, boom, it's gone. There's waiting lists, okay? But in regards to the vacancy side, about 33 days on average. So it's a very low vacancy rate. Why? Californians are moving in. Why? Northerners are moving in. Canadians come in, they vacation, they buy, they rent. We've got businesses moving in. So it's not just an investor-saturated market, it's an investor and home buyer market over there. Okay, so we've got a good mixture of both. Prime for using a lease option and seller financing. Why is it prime? Well, because I've been promoting the lease option strategy over in the Phoenix market for the last 2 years. And that's because I was feeling that our flipping is going to go away, and it has. So the flipping market is kind of dead if you're looking at properties at $200,000 and below. Because at the $150,000 mark and below, that's where the mass buyers are, the investors and the home buyers. Well, in that case, people are now paying 20% above retail value over in the Phoenix market. Okay? We're paying about 10, maybe sometimes 15% above retail value in our own backyard. So that's because of the lack of inventory. So if you wanted to flip, we have to be in the much higher dollar range, but even the margins are really thin. I don't want to promote flipping properties in Phoenix for investors like yourself because I just don't want anybody to get stuck. I want equity positions, okay? But for the lease option, that's the hybrid between the rental and the flip. You're going to hold it for 1 to 3 years. So you'll hold it for a couple of years, collect some appreciation, do whatever you want, flip that thing out.
And you mostly do the flip in
Kansas City. The flips in Kansas City.
What about Phoenix?
Phoenix, I just said we don't do them over there anymore. It's too thin of a margin, and right now it's just way too competitive. You miss, you know, everybody wants to flip now, missed that boat about 1.5 years ago.
So do you, do you recommend if it's a good market to invest for rental?
It's an excellent market for
But
rentals.
how about a season in summertime? You know, it's so hot.
You stay inside the house.
Yeah, you run to your
Demand will decrease.
What's that?
Will demand decrease?
No. No, it is, the summertime is a little bit slower time in regards to sales. Usually it's the tail end of July through August, but no, it's kind of like California. You know, our seasons are great here, and over there, it's in Phoenix, their bad season is the summertime. But that's also the time where people are relocating due to schools, colleges, and business time. So it doesn't slow down that much. If there's any time that really slows down between the Vegas, Phoenix, and California market, it's basically Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day. And that's kind of our slow period. Okay? But even the last 2 years, that's not really a slow period. You know, we can go over to, you know, I don't know, you name it, Fontucky, somewhere in the Midwest, and during that time, from daylight savings to daylight savings, it's a dead market. Okay? That's not the way it works here on the West Coast.
You know what I think is another component is that the baby boomers are coming to fruition. You've got people from their 60s and up who are tired of dealing with the snow and the ice. So they're coming down there, and these people in their 70s, they're cold anyway. So they don't mind that hot weather. That's where they want to be for the rest of their life.
You're absolutely right, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we focus in the Sun Belt area. Because everybody down up here doesn't want to live here anymore, they want to live down here. And it's the older generation, just like I mentioned with the Canadians, they want to get out of the cold and come into the heat. So yeah, for us to go in the heat, it's like, people say, are you from Phoenix? Hell no, it's too hot over there. I wouldn't live there in the summertime. But great for investing, let me show you. Okay? So here's a property right here that we got at the auction. Okay? This is the before picture. Doesn't look like anything's bad with it. I mean, it's a great little home. It's got a concrete roof, which is about a $20,000 value difference versus a composition shingle. The only thing bad with it is the landscaping. We've got little, you know, foil in the window that just needs to be taken down. So all we do is just clean it up. Well, before we do that, we buy it at 96.1 at the auction, but we clean it up and we landscape it. Now, if you're going to be a landlord in the desert area, my biggest recommendation is get desert landscaping.
Right.
Because grass will only last about 4 weeks, and then you're going to come back and put desert landscaping in, okay? So we just put crushed rock with some very high tolerant shrubs in there and make it look super clean, okay? This is a typical backyard in Phoenix. They don't really do a lot of landscaping unless you're in the middle income or higher. This particular house is right about, you know, a notch above working class, okay, but a notch below middle income. But they don't really do a whole lot of landscaping, so neither do we. All we do is just clean it up a little bit, let them take the canvas and paint it the way they want. Okay?
What did you put down in that backyard?
Sorry?
What did you put in that backyard?
We didn't do nothing, we just raked it.
Oh.
We took all the weeds out and just raked it out. Okay? What we did do is make sure, if you can look here, you see a little this, right? Because they get monsoons in August, so a bunch of water come down. We don't want it going up against the house. We want it to go right in the middle. Okay? So you can see the bathrooms there. There's nothing wrong with them. I mean, they got an ugly color in the bathroom. It's just vinyl flooring. It's very basic but new. And so all we do is just clean it up. Oops. We just clean it up. We put down the oversized tile, make it look nice, make it pop, add some value. And then here, someone had a great idea. Hey, I think I'm going to carpet the laundry room. Not a very good idea. As you can see, we've got a washer and dryer here. We put a cup here to show you how big the tear is. But we ripped out the carpet and then put the tile in. Now, when you buy properties at the auction, it's very common that you get the appliances with the house. Most of the time, they live in the house as long as they can, and then they get booted out. And so they leave a lot of stuff behind. Very, very common. So we've got newer washer and dryers that come along with that house, and so that goes over to the purchaser. Now here you've got your living room, your dining room, and the kitchen. As you can see, not only did they leave the furniture, but they did leave the microwave and refrigerator, which is in great shape. You know, one thing that we do with our kids, well, not with my kids because we live here, but my partners over in Phoenix, you know what they do? They come in and they salvage what's good in this house because you guys don't want all this junk. So they'll salvage what's good, and then they take their kids that are 7, 8, 10, 12 years old, get them to list them on Craigslist and start a little business and teach them the business of buying and selling. Okay, good idea? Teaching your kids how to do that? Okay, so anyways, that's what they do. Fix it up, just turn around, clean it all out, carpet, lid, appliance. The only thing we had to do here is change out the faucet, and we put tile in there. As you can see, that's vinyl on the left, tile on the right. And then we just this was a surprise because they had so much stuff, we couldn't see the water here. We pulled everything out, water, there was no good way to put a new one in. So working the numbers, pick it up for $96,100, then repairs on that was $6,500. In title insurance, we take it right out of auction, put it right in escrow, the slap on title insurance, $450. And then total expense for that investor is $103,000. The ARV is $112,000, so there's a little bit of equity in that house. Just about $8,900. Is that enough equity to flip a house? No, there's not enough equity to flip that house, but that's not the intention. It's actually to buy and hold. Okay? So you got an annual income because this house rents out for $925,000, $11,000 with a vacancy rate of 5%. Really, it's a 3% vacancy, but we'll add a buffer. $500 in management, HOA, insurance, and so on. So you have a yearly expense of $4,200. You take that and minus it from the gross income, and you've got a net profit of $6,832. Now, that's not bad. That's a 6.6% cap rate. That's better than Southern California. And they get $8,900 in cash flow. I'm sorry, in equity. However, are they really buying in Phoenix right now for this great big cap rate? No. They're buying newer products in a recovering market that's going to allow them to appreciate this house where this thing's going to double in the next 10 years. And you know what? It's going to be it's going to be less than 10 years because this same house, kid you not, we can pick up in the same neighborhood for $48,000 just 2.5 years ago. And now we're getting it close to under $100,000. Okay? So, here's what Patricia Wallace had to say. That's her house. I must say, your team of black belt investors in your program, Remote Rehams, is a fine-tuned, well-oiled cash and wealth-building machine compared to other companies. Black belt investors is the best. You're attentive to my investment needs. Help me map out a wealth plan and guided me through the process. Thank you for such an easy, inexpensive, and profitable way to acquire rental properties. I'm excited to acquire another. It's great to have a power team on my side. Patricia Wallace out of Southern California. We pick these things up at the trustee sales and the auctions in Phoenix and Las Vegas only. Okay? We get them at the auctions there only. We also have now generated a private MLS. Lots of investors are buying properties. So if you're one that says, I don't want to buy at the auction, it's too big of a gamble, I need to use a loan, great, you can tap into our private MLS, because if it's on the MLS, it's gone in a matter of hours, but we have properties just for you. Okay? We also get properties like over in Kansas City, that we get them directly from the bank. I mean, how many people would love to get properties directly from the bank and say, hey, Sensei, you want this one, or should we put it on the MLS? We'll take this one, we'll pass on that one. So we get it directly from the bank. Sometimes we'll get them off the MLS, and we target a lot of physical, especially up in the Cleveland market. Here's a property here built in 2005. Winning bid was $112,000. That's $69 a square foot. It's $100 to build in Phoenix. Here's another one for $995 market rents, $120,000. Beautiful home here for $102,000. Getting rents for $875. We're buying for appreciation and cash flow and tax deductions. This little house right here is a perfect house. Why? Because it's inexpensive, $82,501. Why is that 501 important? Because this property was going to auction at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they postponed it. Typically when they postpone a property, it doesn't come back on the auction block until about 6 weeks later. You know what? It came back on the auction block at 4, and nobody was there to bid on it, so we got it for $1 over. Good thing that we've got a big enough team, because we hit 12 auctions per day. Okay? So we were big enough for $1 over. Lack the cash, joint venture. You got friends? Hopefully. You got friends with money? Hopefully. You can joint venture. You don't have any friends? You don't have any money, or friends with money? No problem. Give me a call. I can team you up with other investors. You pool your money together. You come in and buy something like in KC. You fix it up. You flip it. And get your money back. You buy something on a lease option over in Arizona. Same thing. It's a short-term JV. You're going to tap into greater resources where you're going to be learning along the way, sharing those expenses. You're not 100% into the deal. You're only 25%, 33%, or 50% into the deal. So you're sharing expenses, sharing risk, but you're also sharing profits. We'll set up a JV agreement for you, which is a limited lifespan, meaning that you're not into it for the rest of your life unless you want to be. But more likely you're on it for the next few years. You're going to gain valuable knowledge. We're no longer reading books and listening to 8-tracks from Carlton Sheets. We are now actually doing the business, okay? Ability to get your foot in the door. That is probably one of the most important things right there. Get your foot in the door. Don't think you've got to save 80 grand. Not necessary. Typically, the minimum is about 20 grand, okay? So if you like the cash, we're hard money lenders. We can provide that for you. That's not a problem. Typically, they want 20 to 30% down on the loan. 12 to 18% interest only, 18% because you know why? You'll say, oh, that's a lot of money. No, it's not. If I can get a property, if you came to me, what's your name? Jean? Okay, so Gene gets auction property, we get it for today at the auction, I call my hard money lender and say, hey, you know what? I need to fund this deal tomorrow morning. Done. That's why they charge 18%. Because if you go to any other type of private money or hard money lender, you're going to wait about 10, 20 days to be able to get those funds because they want to do their homework. Okay? So they'll charge a little bit more on the interest rate. Loan term, about 6 months, $900 origination fee, 3 to 6 points. So we've got Phoenix, just a flat $900. There's no points. Everywhere else, we're going to have points outside of Phoenix. Works a little bit different. Bank loans, you can come and tap into our private MLS. You got, 20 grand and you want to go get a loan, no problem. We can do that for you as well. You don't have to go fight on the MLS for property. I'm sorry, 3 to 6 points. Okay. Turnkey, price is nearly the same as a short sale REO. You can go buy a property, short sale REO, but you got to still rehab it. Ours is already rehabbed at the same price. Okay. Traditional escrow will go through on anything that has a bank loan against it. Okay. How do you get started? Well, you got to figure it out. Is it time for me to invest, or am I going to sit there and watch all the boats go by until there's no more? Am I going to do something to get my foot in the door? Am I going to start building that residual income, just like I've always wanted to do, by either flipping, leasing, lease optioning, or using some sort of seller financing technique on my own or with a partner? It's completely up to you. We're in such a dynamic real estate market right now. I'm a wholesaler by heart. When the crash happened in 2008, I said, bring it on, because we're going to amp up our business, and that's exactly what we did, and that's why we're able to do so many properties per month. Because I understand the market. I understand the techniques that we use in these markets. And you too need to get involved somehow, some way, whether it's single family or commercial. You need to take that leap of faith. I'm going to invite you to our Phoenix tour. You got Linda over here in the corner, see that? Squatting down. Anyways, we'll take a nice luxury bus and we'll tour around the area. We'll first meet at the hotel, pick you up. We'll go to our office in the background. We actually expanded our office 3 times the size in the background. We own that building now. We'll go to the office. We will sit down with a team, talk to auction bidders, insurance agent, hard money lenders, contractors. They'll all jump on the bus with us. There's absolutely nothing for sale because we do auction properties. But you'll see properties that are going to auction on Monday so that you can get a feel of what it's like. And then you'll have properties that have been completely rehabbed so that you can see the quality, the craftsmanship. Okay? So you'll be able to see the before and after. It's a great time. It's just one day spending the time and getting in the field, techniques and tactics. And it's going to be on May 4th. And if you're interested, and give our office a call or visit Black Belt Investors with that tag on the back of Phoenix-Tour, and we'd be more than happy to have you come along. And I want to thank Dan, and I want to thank everybody here for allowing me to come up and present this to you. And if you have any questions after the next speaker, by all means, come and hit me before I take off to go home. God bless you guys.
All right. Thank you very much. So it's a little bit warm in here. Anybody feel warm? Yes. So let's open this up. A little air in here. And so Sensei, they've got your number, they've got your website. If you guys want to stay a little bit longer after this is all over, are you going to be around very long?
I'll be around.
Okay. And so what we want to do now, let's get some fresh air in here, is bring up John Whitney with the far infrared heating elements. Now this is really